All right, today we're tackling something really interesting, a totally different way of thinking about how to fight violent movements. And it's all based on some fascinating research from West Point's Combating Terrorism Center. So let's just get right to the big question. How do you actually defeat a violent movement?
The first thing that probably comes to mind is you fight its ideology, right? You launch this big war of ideas. And, that's been the go-to strategy for a long, long time. But what if that whole approach is, well, maybe not the best way? What if it's actually kind of flawed from the start?
So let's dig into that. Why exactly does this whole war of ideas thing so often miss the mark?
Well, there are a few big problems here. First off, think about it. Do Western governments really have the credibility to win a religious or ideological debate? Probably not. And then you've got the fact that these movements aren't, they're not beehives where everyone thinks the same thing. People's beliefs are all over the place, so a single counter-argument just doesn't work. Plus, and this is a huge one, there are tons of peaceful groups out there that share some of the same ideas but would never turn to violence. And let's be real, trying to change someone's deepest beliefs from thousands of miles away? That's a really, really tough sell.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Social movement theory gives us a much sharper way to look at this, and it all comes down to a crucial difference, the difference between ideology and framing. Getting this distinction is everything. So first up, ideology. The easiest way to think about this is it's the content. It's the whole library of beliefs, the values, the big ideas. Basically, it's the what they believe.
But then you've got framing, and this isn't the what, it's the how. It's the process. It's how they take those beliefs and package them to get people on board, to recruit, to justify what they're doing. It's their sales pitch, their communication strategy.
And when you put them side by side like this, the difference just pops. Ideology is the content, the belief system. It's kind of static, right? But framing, that's the process. That's the persuasion. It's dynamic. It's active. It's all about convincing people.
And there's this great quote from researchers Pamela Oliver and Hank Johnston that just nails it. Framing points to process, while ideology points to content. It's such a simple idea, but wow, it changes everything when you think about strategy.
So what do you do with this information? How does this actually turn into a strategy you can use? Well, if framing is the real engine of mobilization, then your goal shouldn't be to debate the ideology. It should be to disrupt their message.
And here's the kicker. This is backed up by some really key research. It turns out a lot of new recruits actually try to join these groups before they even fully understand the complicated ideology. So what does that tell you? It tells you that people aren't being won over by a deep intellectual conversion at first. No, they're being hooked by the frame, that powerful video, that charismatic speaker, that one message that just connects with them. The message is the front door. The deep indoctrination, that stuff often happens way later.
And this right here really drives the point home. According to Pew Research, if you look at the big picture, the net effect of people converting to or from Islam globally is basically zero. So the growth of extremist groups isn't part of some huge worldwide wave of religious conversion. It's not that at all. It's a very specific, very targeted thing. It's about successful mobilization and successful framing. They are just really, really good at selling their specific message to a specific audience.
Okay, so this all leads to a really clear three-step playbook for policymakers. Step 1, you monitor how they communicate. You watch their videos, their social media, all of it. Step 2, you figure out which of those messages, which frames, are actually hitting home with people. And step 3, you put all your energy into breaking those connections. You disrupt those specific communication channels to make their message fall flat.
So why does this matter so much? What's the real-world benefit of shifting from fighting an ideology to fighting a message?
Well, a bunch of things. A counter-framing strategy gets you focused on what you actually want to achieve, stopping the violence and stopping the group from getting bigger. It's so much more targeted than trying to take on an entire worldview. And really importantly, you can actually measure if it's working. You can see if their recruitment is becoming less effective. At the end of the day, by disrupting their ability to communicate, you're essentially cutting off the oxygen they need to survive and grow.
So if you take away just one thing, it should be this. For policymakers, the smartest move isn't to get trapped in an endless ideological debate they probably can't win anyway. The real goal is to disrupt the message.
And that kind of leaves us with one final big question. In today's world, where so much conflict happens online, is it possible that the most powerful weapon we have isn't a missile or a drone, but just a better message?